Let me ask you something that most men over 60 never hear from their doctor, but absolutely should. What if the real reason your erections have become weaker, slower, or completely unreliable has nothing to do with testosterone, your prostate, or even blood pressure, but a single hidden muscle inside your pelvis that no one talks about? A muscle that, when stiff, tight, or asleep, can choke off the blood flow to your manhood the same way a kinked hose kills the water pressure. Now here's the shocking part. Most men stretch the wrong muscles for years: quads, hamstrings, lower back, yet never touch the one muscle that controls hardness, blood flow, ejaculation strength, and even how long you can stay in the game. And the moment you stretch it the right way, for just 60 seconds, you feel an almost immediate surge of warmth, pressure, and expansion down there, as if the lights are turning back on. My name is Dr. James Wood, and I've spent over 30 years helping men restore performance, blood flow, and pelvic health naturally. And today, I'm going to show you the 1-minute stretch that every man over 60 should be doing, but almost none actually know exists. I'm telling you right now, this stretch is not yoga. It's not a complicated movement, and you don't need flexibility, strength, or equipment. You just need 1 minute and the willingness to try something your younger self never needed, but your older self will thank you for. Because once this hidden muscle loosens up, blood flows faster, your erections gain pressure, and the dead weight feeling many men complain about starts waking up again. So stay with me, because in the next part, I'm going to reveal exactly which muscle this is, and why almost all men over 60 let it stiffen without even realizing it. Before I continue, let me ask you, drop a comment right now and tell me your age and what issue brought you to this video. I read every comment personally. And if you want more science-backed men's health videos like this, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss what I share next. 1. The hidden muscle men over 60 must wake up. Now, let me finally reveal the muscle I've been hinting at, a muscle so overlooked that even many trained specialists never mention it to their patients. I'm talking about the pelvic floor muscle, specifically the pubococcygeus or PC muscle. Most men only hear about this muscle when women talk about Kegels. But here's the truth most men never discover. Your erections, your control, your blood flow, and even the firmness of your manhood depend heavily on the tone and flexibility of this hidden muscle. Let me explain this in simple, real-world terms. Imagine your pelvic floor like a hammock. If the hammock is tight, strong, and flexible, it supports the organs above it and allows the blood vessels and nerves below it to work freely. But if this hammock becomes stiff, weak, or shortened, which happens naturally from sitting, aging, poor posture, low testosterone, and lack of movement, then the blood vessels that feed your manhood become compressed like stepping on a garden hose. And once that pressure is blocked, you start noticing the classic symptoms. Erections that are weaker or disappear quickly, slower blood flow, reduced sensitivity, a heavy, lifeless feeling down there, performance that fades right when you need it. What's worse is this. Most men over 60 unknowingly walk around with a locked pelvic floor. It's so tight and shortened that even when the brain says send blood, the muscles around your pelvis say, nope, we're staying closed. And here's where the magic happens. When you stretch this muscle, not just squeeze it, you unlock that trapped tension and instantly improve circulation. That's why the 1-minute stretch I'm about to teach you is so powerful. But before we get there, you need to understand something even more surprising. Why this hidden muscle tightens after 60. Your pelvic floor is the most reactive muscle group in your entire body. It tightens during stress, fear, poor sleep, prostate issues, constipation, back pain, sedentary days, hormonal decline. Every single one of these builds tension like adding bricks to a bag, and the body responds by gripping the pelvic floor tighter and tighter. At 20 or 30, this isn't a problem because your muscles recover quickly. But after 60, the recovery process slows and the tightness becomes permanent. That's why many men say things like, my erections just aren't firm anymore. It feels like the blood doesn't reach all the way in. It takes forever to get hard. It feels numb or disconnected. None of this is random. It's all linked to pelvic floor stiffness. And here's the part that shocks most men. You cannot fix this by only taking supplements, boosting testosterone, drinking special juices, doing cardio, taking pills, doing Kegels alone, because these do nothing to release the tension. If your pelvic floor is locked, no pill, powder, or exercise will override that muscle guarding. You must release it first. And the fastest way to do that is by gently stretching it, especially the PC muscle, so the blood pathways reopen. How big is the difference? I've had men in their 60s, 70s, even late 80s tell me, "Doc, I felt warmth down there for the first time in years. Doc, something actually moved. Doc, I woke up with morning wood again after doing this stretch twice." These aren't miracles. They're simple physiology. Once the pelvic floor relaxes, blood flows freely again. And once blood flows freely, the tissues expand again. And once that happens, the forgotten feeling starts returning. The good news? You don't need to be flexible. You don't need to be athletic. You don't need special equipment. You don't even need more than 60 seconds. You just need the right position, the right breathing, and the right focus. And that's exactly what I'll walk you through next. 2. The 1-minute stretch that wakes up blood flow. All right, now let's get into the part you've been waiting for. The exact 60-second stretch that loosens the pelvic floor, unlocks trapped blood flow, and reactivates the hardness response most men thought they lost forever. I'm going to walk you through this slowly, clearly, and in a way that any man over 60 can do, even if you haven't stretched in years. So take a deep breath, relax your shoulders, and listen closely. Because once you learn this, you'll be able to do it anytime, morning, before bed, or right before intimacy, for an instant boost in warmth and circulation. Step 1. The position that instantly opens the pelvis. Sit on the edge of a chair, not leaning back, not slouched, right on the edge. Place your feet shoulder-width apart. Now let your knees drop outward just a little, like you're opening a book. This slight outward angle releases pressure on the pelvic floor and sets you up for the deep stretch. Most men already feel a subtle opening in the groin right away. If you feel that, perfect. If not, don't worry. It'll come. Step 2, the forward drop. Now I want you to hinge forward at the hips, not curling the back, not rounding your spine. Hinge from the hip joints like you're bowing. Bring your chest forward until it's about halfway toward your thighs. The moment you lean forward, your pelvic floor starts lengthening. It's gentle, but it's powerful. Most men feel a deep stretch in the base of the pelvis between the legs or even behind the scrotum. That's exactly where the PC muscle sits. Step 3, the breathing that unlocks the hidden release. Here's where most men go wrong. They hold their breath. Breath is everything in this stretch. Here's what I want you to do. Take a slow 4-second inhale through your nose. And as you inhale, let your belly expand. Then, exhale for 6 to 8 seconds through your mouth. And as you exhale, I want you to completely relax your pelvic floor. Let it droop downward. Not squeeze, not tighten, just allow gravity to pull everything down and open. Many men tell me that this breathing alone gives them a feeling of warmth or tingling down there. That's blood flow reactivating. Step 4, the gentle press that doubles the stretch. Now here's the secret part that turns this from a good stretch into a blood flow booster. While still leaning forward, place your elbows gently on your knees. Then slowly press your knees outward with your elbows, not forcing, just gently guiding. This widens the pelvis and lengthens the PC muscle further. You should feel a release between the legs, a dropping sensation under the pelvis, a deep opening around the base of the manhood, or even a warm wave spreading downward. All of that is perfect. Hold this position. Step 5, the 60-second hold. This is where the magic happens. For the next minute, maintain the forward hinge, the knees slightly pressed outward, the deep, slow breathing, the relaxed pelvic floor. Around the 20 to 30-second mark, most men feel a shift, like something lets go inside the pelvis. That's the exact moment when the PC muscle releases tension it's been holding for years, sometimes decades. Once it releases, blood vessels open wider, pressure improves, and sensitivity increases almost instantly. This is why some men notice a sudden warm flush in the groin, a feeling of heaviness or fullness, pulsing, expansion, or simply something waking up. Those sensations are good. They mean the muscle is opening and blood flow is returning. Step 6, the return. Slowly rise back up. Don't rush it. Sit upright and take one more long exhale. Most men feel lighter, looser, more open. Some feel warmer. Some sit up and say, "Doc, I feel something happening already." That's the power of a single minute. When to use this for the best results. You can do this stretch every morning to wake up blood flow. Before sleep to reduce pelvic tension. Before intimacy for stronger performance. After long sitting. After exercise. Before taking supplements for better effect. The more consistently you do it, the better the results. I've seen men regain morning erections they hadn't felt in years just from doing this twice a day. Now that you know the stretch, the next part will explain why this works from a scientific perspective and why men over 60 benefit from it more than any other age group. 3. Why this 1-minute stretch works. The science men over 60 never hear. Now that you've learned the stretch, let me take you behind the scenes and explain why this simple 1-minute move can transform blood flow and erection quality for men over 60. Because once you understand the science, you'll never skip this stretch again. And honestly, what I'm about to explain is something most doctors never mention, even though it determines how firm, how fast, and how consistently you can get an erection. Let's break it down in a clear, simple way. 1. Erections are 100% a blood flow event, not a testosterone event. Most men believe weak erections come from low testosterone, that's what ads tell you, that's what supplement companies want you to think. But here's the truth I've learned over 30 years in men's health. Testosterone influences desire. Blood flow creates the erection. You can want intimacy. You can feel mentally ready, but if the blood can't reach the target area, you'll struggle no matter how high your testosterone is. This is where the pelvic floor becomes the real powerhouse. 2. The pelvic floor controls pressure in and pressure out. Think of your pelvic floor as a valve system. When it's flexible and relaxed, blood enters freely. The chambers of the penis fill completely, and the exit veins are partially compressed. This is good. This creates the pressure that makes an erection firm. But when the pelvic floor is tight, clenched, or stiff, which happens almost automatically with age, the entire valve system malfunctions. Here's what happens physiologically. The arteries coming in get restricted. The veins going out stay more open. Pressure drops. Hardness disappears. This is why the stretch works so fast. It opens the in gates and supports the out pressure. 3. Why this muscle gets tighter after 60. This part shocks most men. After 60, the body naturally loses elasticity. Muscles shorten and stiffen. But the pelvic floor tightens twice as fast as other muscles because you sit more, you move less. Your posture changes, your hormones decline, blood flow decreases, the prostate enlarges, stress increases pelvic tension, you hold your stomach in more, your glutes weaken, your hip muscles lose flexibility. Each one adds tightness to the pelvic floor. By 60, 70, or 80, many men are walking around with a pelvic floor that's literally locked shut. And a locked pelvic floor cannot allow full blood flow, no matter what you eat, drink, or take. The stretch you learned in part 3 works because it reverses years of this built-up tension. For the stretch activates 2 deep blood flow pathways. Inside your pelvis, 2 major pathways affect erection strength. A. Pudendal artery, the main blood supply to the penis. When the pelvic floor is tight, this artery is literally squeezed. The stretch opens the pelvis, reducing compression and increasing blood delivery. B. Internal iliac veins, the veins that control blood staying in. For strong erection, these veins must partially close so blood stays trapped. A relaxed pelvic floor helps this venous occlusion effect work properly again. This is why men feel warmth, fullness, tingling, pulsing, a heavier feeling very quickly after the stretch. That's blood re-entering the tissues. 5. The pelvic floor is connected to the nerves that control sensitivity. Another huge benefit men feel is improved sensitivity. Why? Because the stretch also decompresses the pudendal nerve, which carries signals from the brain to your manhood. If this nerve is compressed, you experience less pleasure, delayed excitement, numbness, weak muscle control, slower response. Once you open the pelvis, nerve impulses travel more freely, which is why some men report feeling sensations they haven't felt in years. 6. The stretch also improves nitric oxide flow. Nitric oxide is the chemical that tells your blood vessels to open. But tight muscles reduce nitric oxide release. When you stretch and breathe deeply, nitric oxide increases. Arteries relax. Blood flow improves. Pressure rises. Erections become more reliable. This is the same pathway that pills like Viagra target, but you're activating it naturally. 7. Why this works better for men over 60 than younger men. Younger men rarely have pelvic floor tension. They move more, sit less, and have naturally higher blood flow. But older men experience more sitting, weaker glutes, tight hips, prostate pressure, reduced flexibility, less nitric oxide, more inflammation, tendon stiffening. This makes the stretch significantly more effective for men over 60 because it directly targets the root problem, restricted blood flow caused by muscular tightness. In the next part, I'll bring everything together and show you how to use this stretch daily, how to avoid common mistakes, and how to build a simple routine that keeps erection strong, consistent, and full of pressure. 4. The daily routine and the warnings. Now that you understand the hidden muscle, the stretch, and the science behind it, let me give you the part most men over 60 never get from their doctor. How to turn this into a simple, daily routine that keeps your erection strong, your pelvic floor relaxed, and your blood flow steady, even as you age. Because the real secret isn't doing the stretch once, it's doing it the right way, consistently, so the benefits compound week after week. Let me break it down for you clearly, simply, and in a way you can start using today. The best daily routine, only 3 minutes total. Point 1. Morning activation, 60 seconds. Do the stretch exactly the way I taught you. Sit at the edge of a chair. Lean forward from the hips. Knees slightly open. Elbows gently pressing outward. Slow 4 to 6 breathing. Relax the pelvic floor on every exhale. Why morning? Because after 6 to 8 hours of lying still, your pelvic floor becomes stiff and compressed. This stretch reopens the pelvis and jumpstart blood flow for the entire day. Many men tell me they start getting morning erections again within 2 to 7 days of doing this. 2. Midday reset, 60 seconds. Do this after lunch or after any long period of sitting. Sitting is the absolute worst enemy of pelvic floor health. Every hour you sit adds tiny amounts of pressure, tiny amounts of compression, tiny reductions in circulation, until the cumulative effect becomes hardness problems. A quick midday stretch stops that from building up. 3. Evening release, 60 seconds. This is my favorite one. After a full day of stress, standing, sitting, or moving, the pelvic floor ends the day more tense than it started. This 60-second evening release reduces tension, improves sleep, opens your blood flow for the night, helps with nocturnal erections, supports prostate drainage, and many men tell me it boosts intimacy confidence because it primes the system before bed. How long until you feel results? Here's what I've seen over 30 years. Some men feel warmth or pulsing immediately. Most feel increased looseness or sensitivity within 48 hours. Significant hardness improvements often appear within 1 to 3 weeks. Morning erections often return within 7 to 14 days. And once the pelvic floor opens consistently, everything gets easier. Blood flows faster. Erections build quicker. Hardness lasts longer. Sensitivity improves. Confidence increases. This isn't wishful thinking. This is physiology. The biggest mistakes men make. Let me save you from the problems I've seen hundreds of men run into. Mistake number 1. Squeezing instead of relaxing. This is the most common mistake. If you squeeze the pelvic floor like a Kegel, you increase the tightness, which decreases blood flow. For the stretch to work, the key is relaxation, not contraction. Mistake number 2. Holding the breath. Breath equals blood flow. Every long exhale is like telling your pelvic floor, let go, open up, relax. If you rush your breathing, you miss the release. Mistake number 3. Rounding the back instead of bending at the hips. A rounded back shifts the stretch into your spine, not the pelvis. A hip hinge is non-negotiable. Mistake number 4. Forcing the knees too wide. You don't need to push hard. Gentle pressure is all it takes to open the PC muscle. Mistake number 5. Doing it once and forgetting. This is a lifestyle practice, not a one-time fix. Just like brushing your teeth, just like stretching your legs, your pelvic floor needs daily mobility. The simple warning you must hear: if you ever feel sharp pain, burning sensation, numbness that increases, pain radiating into the legs, sudden discomfort in the lower back, stop the stretch immediately. This is extremely rare, but I always tell men, pain is the body's way of saying something else may be going on, like nerve compression, hernia irritation, or hip dysfunction. Mild stretching discomfort is normal. Sharp pain is not. Always listen to your body. My final message to you: every man over 60 deserves strong, reliable, confident erections without depending on pills, gimmicks, or risky procedures. And this 1-minute stretch is one of the simplest, safest, and most effective tools you can give yourself. It restores blood flow. It reawakens nerve pathways. It loosens the hidden muscle that controls pressure, and it gives you back a level of function that many men think is gone forever. Stay consistent, stay patient, and stay hopeful. Your body is not done. Your performance is not done. And your best days can still be ahead of you.